Hi, my name is Mateo, and this is my film analysis on the anime Paprika from 2006. Now, the first thing about the composition that I want to talk about is mirrors. The composition of many shots in the animated film are really creative and interesting in my opinion. From the example of these two shots here, you can tell that the animators and designers like putting two focuses on the screen at the same time, so you don't exactly know where your eye should be drawn or where you're supposed to look. In many shots throughout the film, you can see that they're very fond of putting the main focus at the very far side of the screen, and then also having another focus in the same shot at the opposite side of the frame, usually being a reflection of some sort. I think that the theme of mirrors and reflections throughout the film might represent the two realities in the dream world and the real world. Most of the time, when reflections are being used, it's Dr. Chiba's reflection reflecting as Paprika, showing in a way that they are the same and that they are a part of each other. The film starts off with Dr. Chiba, a therapist trying to find the mysterious device called the DC Mini, which allows people to enter or view another person's dreams. The story follows Chiba's dream world self, Paprika, as she tries to help Detective Kanakawa resolve his recurring nightmare that he has because of a murder case that he cannot solve. This is the film's plot and storyline to an average viewer, but it has a strong underlying message about escaping reality and the potential damage with long-term escapism. Let's talk about the film's creator, Satoshi Kon. He was the animator and film director for Paprika and various other amazing films such as Perfect Blue and Tokyo Godfathers. His animated films often had the theme of blurring together reality and fantasy. His work is so well known and looked up to that many Hollywood films have taken huge inspiration from his various works, such as the film Black Swan by Darren Aronofsky, which is a basically frame-for-frame replica of Perfect Blue. Darren Aronofsky was inspired by Satoshi Kon's work so much that he bought the rights to Perfect Blue for around $60,000, so he could recreate what was basically, in a sense, a live-action version of the animated film. Another example of this is the movie Inception, directed by Christopher Nolan, taking inspiration from Paprika. When you watch the two films, it's easy to connect the similarities between the two films. They both follow a story to do with the connection of dreams and reality. Just look at this scene by Christopher Nolan. Now compare that scene with this scene from Paprika. The two scenes both feel very familiar with each other. Paprika is a very interesting movie with a lot of symbolism and metaphors behind its crazy and colorful animation. Movies are on the forefront of this film. It is shown throughout the film the connection between movies and dreams. Both movies and dreams are a way to escape the reality of a boring and dull life that most people are bound to live in. People go to watch movies at a theater to get away from the lives that they are forced to live. We watch films in the theater to try and place ourselves in a different and more exciting world than is actually around us. One of the messages that this film is trying to infer to the audience is that even though dreams and movies let us escape into another reality, it may be dangerous to stay in those realities for too long. You might start to forget all the things that you love and enjoy about the real world around you. Dr. Chiba often shifts between herself and Paprika. Paprika is what basically amounts to her dream self and what she wants to be. She shifts between dreams and reality so often that she starts to forget about the real world, which almost causes her death. She was so distant from the real world that she put her life in the dream world as Paprika before her love with Tokita in the real world. Towards the end of the film, she starts to realize how important being in the real world was, and how important Tokita and the rest of reality really is to her. At the end of the film, when the real world starts to get consumed by the dream world, She accepts the fact that she has to live in the real world and let go of Paprika, which causes Paprika to be reborn into helping the dream world while leaving Chiba in the real world. Too much of something can cause great destruction. This is shown multiple times in the film, from the chairman letting his greed and power take over and causing his downfall at the end, Tokita and his obsession with creating the DC Mini to connect dreams and reality, and Konakawa with his love for his work. Konakawa's recurring nightmare throughout the entire film had to be resolved for him to solve the case he couldn't solve. This problem created the combination of dreams and reality becoming one. Dreams can be an exciting part of our lives, but sometimes the most thrilling part of our lives are the things we experience in the real world.